This week on Life on Jupiter, we are motoring from Chicago down the Illinois River when things start to go wrong.
It seems to be working okay.
Welcome to Chicago.
Finally.
We arrived here yesterday. We had a little bit of a rush through the Great Lakes, really, overall.
Yeah.
Wished we could have stayed longer up near Mackinac Island, which is at the top, Lake Huron and Lake Michigan up in the top there. Forests were amazing. And we had an hour one morning in a deserted island amongst the big pines and cedars, and wondering if I was carrying around the bear spray, just, in case. And it was like something out of a movie, Lord of the Rings. Beautiful. Anyway, and then we came down Lake Michigan. So the reason we were rushing was because, winter's coming. And the rule of thumb was to be in Chicago on Labor Day. And we actually did it to the day.
Yeah.
We were here yesterday
just
on Labor
on
Day.
time.
So now we can chill a bit with the time. The only other time issue we got is our visa, our entry. We have 2 months left on our entry. And it should take 40 days of motoring to get down the rivers to Mobile, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission, of course, now is find where can we park the dinghy and go ashore. So we'll stay here a couple of days before turning back into a riverboat.
Mm-hmm. We need to get that pizza.
Oh, Chicago pizza.
Always searching for a dinghy park.
Looks fine to me.
We have Chicago pizza.
Oh, that looks good. Wow.
It's big. Is this medium?
Yeah, it's a medium.
Oh my god.
Whoa, this is like a quiche.
This is good for 3.
That's what it says. Guess we need knife and fork.
Wow, it's so big.
Sorry, I'm not waiting for you.
How is it?
Mm.
We've been waiting for this for months.
It's good.
It's good.
Must be about
So how much
2 pounds
is
of
this?
cheese in here.
$30 for that whole box.
Yeah. It's not bad, really. It's...
Yeah.
This is our first day of chapter 3 of our interior United States of America run. We have finished the Great Lakes now, ended chapter 2, and now we're about to start the rivers all the way down to the Gulf. 1,200 nautical miles.
Yay!
Or 1,300 statute miles. A long way. So yeah, we're entering the lock in Chicago here, the first lock. I think we've got about 5 locks to do today. But it should be a fairly short day. It's only about 35 miles to where we plan to stop at a place called Joliet. But it's going to be interesting going under these really low bridges. They're like 17 feet, which is, well, it should be 4 feet above us, hopefully.
Yeah. You can touch it.
Yeah, I don't know if you could touch it, but I can touch it. Sorry!
Chicago Harbor Lock, Chicago Harbor Lock. This is downbound motor vessel Betty Gale. Looking to pass through at the next opportunity, please.
Oh, you're gonna call it?
Chicago Lock. This is Jupiter² catamaran. We are number 2 to the motor vessel westbound.
Check Marianne's outbound at Chicago.
What is that?
I don't know.
You didn't.
But they acknowledged. It's fine.
Life jackets are required in lock. Make sure everyone is wearing a life jacket to the entire lockage. Go to the wall, secure your vessel by grabbing a line. Then you open the line and secure it once it's locked. Do not tie the line to your vessel.
First time we got
Yeah. I couldn't hear exactly what he said. He might have said there's a couple more trains coming, so maybe another one. Chicago pizza!
That's it. Last pizza left from yesterday.
Well, I think
It's cold.
this one
We-
is
Oh.
more your size.
Oh my god. Do we need
Pretty
to put it in the
similar, actually.
microwave?
I don't want to.
How's it? I'm gonna miss the Chicago pizza. Wow.
Just outside the city of Chicago, we got a taste of the traffic that we would experience from here until Mobile, Alabama. This towboat is pushing a single barge. We would later encounter towboats that pushed more than a dozen barges. And this was lock number 2 for the day. There would be more than 20 to go through before hitting the Gulf of Mexico. And these locks were quite a bit different to those on the Erie Canal. And we had a lot more traffic to come. this is called the Chicago Sanitary and Ship Channel. The sanitary part means that all the sewage used to run out into the Lake Michigan. So I think, you know, a lot of it still does. Yeah, hopefully the cleaning or filtering methods are better than they used to be. I'm sure it would be, because Lake Michigan is a source of fresh water for people. So, but this is what happens. They treat the sewage and then people drink it.
Yeah. Gross.
So this part of the river, they're trying to stop, I think it's the Asian carp. Big, lazy fish, which is like a pest. And I believe they're trying to stop it getting into the lakes, Lake Michigan. So they've put this like an electric fence under the water. There's these electrodes, I believe, and they discharge these DC voltages, these pulses. So it wouldn't be good for us to sit here too long with a metal boat. Maybe it'll chew up our anodes quickly. And they say wear a life jacket because perhaps the voltages, the shocks in the water, will paralyze you if you fall in and you can't swim. I guess that's the reasoning. It's about a quarter mile, I believe, distance of electrical field. And apparently that stops the carp. Oh! Oh! Just joking.
That's not a good joke.
Not a good joke? I can't think of a good joke. So this is our first day on the rivers. We're on the Illinois. Just left Chicago this morning. And it's going to be a fairly short day. We're going to stop in probably about 2 p.m. And we're a little bit disabled today. Probably 5 days ago, I must have slept funny. And I've had some sort of left shoulder back pain issue, and it's just sort of seems to be getting worse. Like I just have no power in my left arm now. Obviously it really hurts. Hurts if I turn my neck too far. I can't turn left or look down. I can turn right okay. So I think it's time to get it fixed. I'm gonna have to find a chiropractor and spend 150 bucks, I guess, and see what happens. And the other one is Jupiter's port engine has been difficult to start. In the mornings it's been it's like lazy, and it takes a lot of cranking to get it going. Yeah, I need to check on that. I haven't done much work on injectors before, and I'm gonna have to watch a bit of YouTube and learn how to do it. But first I've got to get my back fixed so I can lean over the engine. So that's our goal. This afternoon, maybe tomorrow, go to a chiropractor. Well, I'm off on a little adventure to find a chiropractor. Actually, I've already found one, but I've got to try and get there on the bus. So, Princess is staying here to keep working on your videos.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll be back in an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, love you. Well, it's a beautiful day. I need some exercise. So forget the bus, I'm walking. It's about a 1 hour walk, and it'll get me there just in time because I allowed for 2 bus schedules, you know, in case I missed the first one. Well, chiropractor done. Seemed all quite professional, but couple of 5 minutes of questions and seriously 2 minutes of manipulation, $156. So hopefully it works out. Still sore. He said it'll be sore for another day or so. It may need another adjustment, but it should be easily fixed. So wish me luck. This time tomorrow should be no pain. That's my plan. Woo! It's all right. So we've a little problem with this engine. For about 2 weeks now, it's had trouble starting. It's very weak for 30 seconds, and then it's fine, runs fine, full power, no problem. And then yesterday, just when we were leaving Chicago, or before we left Chicago, I checked the oil and it was fuller than it should be. So I pumped out some of the oil, maybe a cup or 2 cups of oil, and I could see droplets of some other fluid in there. So I'm pretty sure it's not water, because otherwise it would mix and become like a milkshake. It becomes white. So the only other fluid in the engine is what? Fuel. So that would make sense. Fuel is draining from somewhere, which is causing hard starting in the morning as well. Obviously fuel in the oil is not great, dilutes the oil, which is not good for your bearings. I've spoken to a few people. I've contacted Beta, who marinize these engines, and they don't think it's an injector. I was thinking it's an injector that's staying open overnight and just dribbling down the cylinder wall into the sump. They don't think it's that. They are saying it's probably the diaphragm in the lift pump, which is a tiny little pump like this, which costs $200 to buy a new one. But the lift pump works fine. Like I exercise a lift pump and it pumps fuel. So if there was a hole in the diaphragm, it wouldn't pump any fuel, surely. So what I'm going to do is take off the 4 injector caps, and I've got 4 cups. I'm going to put a cup on each injector outlet. Sorry, not the injector outlet, the injector inlet, the feed pipe. And one of these pipes should be empty because it's leaked overnight, yeah? So I'm going to crank the engine, so obviously it won't start, and whichever cup is empty, well then I know that is the injector, which is leaky. So that's my plan. So here we go. These pipes are held pretty securely by these brackets, so I'm going to have to remove these two just to get a little more flexibility. So it'll lift, but not enough to get a cup under. I have to remove these brackets. Okay. Okay. Yep. Another one?
What? Another one?
Yep. One more? Okay, stop.
Did you see anything?
Yeah, well, it's fuel is coming through fairly evenly, I guess. So it's not just one injector. So this was suggestion by the beta guy that it's not an injector that's leaking. It's actually the lift pump, which is a tiny little pump. Maybe has a hole in the diaphragm. So I will take that off and see if there's any leaking going into the crankcase. So this is good. This means it doesn't look like it's injectors, because the cost of injectors was crazy. From Beta, you're looking at about $1,000 for 4 injectors. I can get them from a diesel supplier just a bit cheaper, just under $200 each. There are the cheap, aftermarket injectors, and they're about $50 each. And I guess I can always, if it is injectors, I can always ring up a diesel injection service and see how much it is to overhaul. Rough price. Anyway, let's try this lift pump now. That might be it. Hopefully that's it. See that? That's the part that's inside the... This is where any liquid will come out, any fuel will come out of there into the crankcase. Maybe I should take it off completely. Try blow through it with my breath, and if any air comes through, it must be a hole. So, this is the lift pump for the Beta 35. It's a Kubota engine. $130 to buy a new one. And so there's a diaphragm in there, of course. It's a diaphragm pump, and if there's a hole, it'll leak fuel down into the body, and which will enter the crankcase. And so there's a check valve in there too. So if I can blow one, I can't blow one way, but I can blow the other way. So that's the check valve, that's fine. Also, I can produce suction by pumping it on my tongue. I hope you like the taste of diesel.
If it holds suction, then the diaphragm is okay. It seems to be working okay.
You're liking it.
It seems okay now.
Yeah?
I'm going to put it back,
Yeah.
It hasn't been every day. It's been nearly every day. 90% of the time it's been a really slow start. But you know what? There was a hose. One of the fuel hoses was a bit loose, and air could be getting in, and then it would lose the prime, and that would make it hard to start. But it does not explain why the oil was getting fuller and fuller. Anyway, I'm going to put it back on. Here I am. So, what, 6 weeks ago? 8 weeks ago, we cleaned out, we took, drilled out all the rivets of both fuel tanks and cleaned them out spotlessly to put new fuel in. And this port side tank was pretty good. It's pretty clean, even before we cleaned it. Anyway, I'm sure, because I had to bleed the fuel lines again, I'm sure I replaced the fuel filter. But anyway, so that's 6 or 8 weeks ago. Check that shit. Literally, check that shit. So, it's easy, I've got spares, but I'm just confused. Why?
So that's the main problem.
Well, it's certainly a problem. It doesn't explain why fuel is in the oil, but it does explain the hard starting. But also,
Another one. Lucky you checked it.
so I'll get you to squeeze. You might need to squeeze around there. Like that. I'll tell you. Give it a long press and say 5 seconds. And yeah, that's it. Good. Well, so we want to get the air out of this one. So first, air trap.
You need a...
So you can see there's still air in the bowl, so we've got to wait for that to fill completely, and then it takes a while for the air to all come up out of the filter. Give it a good run.